Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna make a little bit of a different video based on one of my previous shorts that I was talking about the anatomy of a flower. But before I get into that, I want to say thank you all so much for 100 subscribers. It really means so much to me, and I know it's a little bit late, but let's get into it. So first we're gonna be drawing our flower and everything that it consists of. Um, So what made me make this video is that I know that the common person, I realize that the common person doesn't know a lot of the terminologies that I know about the flower and the plants. So I think it's only fair if I make something that explains it, so future videos are not that confusing and you can use this as a reference for a lot of different things. Um, and yeah, I really hope you learn something from this. So now that we've drawn our flower, let's start naming its different parts. The flower consists of four different parts that are all connected to the plant by the stem. So the first part is the calyx, that on it grow the sepals. The second part is the corolla, that on it grow the petals. The third part is the andrecium, that on it grow the stamens, and the fourth part is the gynecium, that on it grows all the female parts of the plant. We're going to be talking all about this in more detail. So starting off with the gynecium, I have it split in four different parts and I'm going to explain what the role of each one is. So the gynecium is the most complex part of the flower in my opinion, and it consists of one, the stigma, which its purpose is to recognize the pollen that gets stuck on it, and then follows the style that pretty much guides the pollen to the ovary and inside the ovules. Now, something that I forgot to mention here is that the ovary can consist of multiple compartments, not just one compartment that consists and has all the ovules, and those compartments are called the carpels, and it can consist of multiple carpels at a time. Now let's move on to the male part of the flower, which is called the andrecium. Andrecium is consists of two different parts. One is the filament, and the other one is the anther. Those two together make up the stamen. Now the anther has the pollen inside it, and when the anther is mature, it splits open and the pollen is released. The filament is connecting the anther to the rest of the plant to get all the nutrients it needs. Now, let's move on to the corolla, which consists of the petals. The petals are modified leaves that help the flower attract the pollinators so the pollen can be spreaded. Then we go into the calyx that consists of the sepals, which are also leaves that protect the flower before it blooms and just stay on the plant for extra photosynthesis afterwards. Now, other than the corolla and the calyx, there are cases that the flower has a different part called the perianth, that is a combination of the corolla and the calyx together, and that is when the petals and sepals are indistinguishable from each other, and then those are called the tepals. By that I mean there are no different parts, no sepals and petals. There's one thing that are called tepals. So that concludes the anatomy of the flower. I hope you learned something and this can serve as a good basis for future videos so you can understand everything that I'm saying. Thank you and good night.